It's Brian and Tammy who gave me a lift back to the Warner Springs Community Center. Bye! Now I get to find where the trail picks up again. And I'm off. Bye! Alright, I thought it would be hard to find the trail coming back down from the community center. It's not. You literally just come down the road. Gate. Alright, so here we go. I've only been on the trail for like 5 minutes and I already had a bug fly up my nose. Oh. Yeah. So hooray, I'm back again. My goal is Paradise Valley Cafe. That should probably take me 3 days, probably 4 days. I've got some rain coming in on the forecast. And I'm right by a highway, sorry about that noise. And I did make some changes to my gear. I dropped the pack cover, and I got a poncho like Frog Tog, something cheap. And my God, this is gorgeous. Let me pause and look at this. More meadows. Just for a little while. I know we're going to start, after like 5 miles, we're going to start climbing up again. Get out of the meadows. I have that other rain jacket that doesn't quite fit yet, but I figured I might as well bring that because that might work better than the other one. And this morning when I saw the forecast had so much rain, I actually ditched my puffy and I added that fleece layer that I had added for the Sierra portion. My fleece gets wet too, but at least it doesn't get completely ruined. So I'm bringing that for like my camp layer and my extra sleep layer. And we'll see how that goes. Hopefully well, because there's no ditch out points up here. The nice thing is on Sunday, my second day out, I should hit Mike's place by early afternoon. So if it's really bad, at least there's Mike's place to kind of shelter in. I mean, I'll have to camp, but there might be, this high winds coming that day too. So at least maybe I can hunker down behind one of the buildings and just pitch a tent with everybody else. We'll see what happens. It's going to be challenging, but it's beautiful weather right now. Cool, sunny, but cool. Got a glider coming up to us. He's coming close. There he is. They're so silent. They sneak up on you. I had one come right over me around, like right after mile 50 weeks ago. And it scared me because all of a sudden something like appeared over me. Oh, you know what? He's coming in for landing. The airport's in that general direction. The trail is now changing from meadows to some oak trees. I think we're coming up on Agua Caliente Creek. And we're going to cross that a few times before we start to climb. This makes me want to go to the beach. Beautiful white sand. So I'm steps off trail. And I keep seeing structures. Like, this is crazy. It's a challenge course of some sort. Oh yeah. There is some kind of naval air training area around here. I know, Navy in the middle of the desert, but I bet you that's what this stuff is. Because there's like one of those walls over there. And just the trail actually goes right in the middle of all this stuff. Makes you wonder how many thru hikers try to stop and like clamber over that. Probably not many. That's a big expenditure of energy. There's a neat little campground out here, close to Highway 79 when we go under the underpass. I'm tempted because there's a picnic table right here, but it's a little early for lunch, so I'm going to, supposedly in like a mile, 1.3 miles, there's another area that has a picnic table and 10 sites. I'll eat lunch there. Look, there's a metals podium in the middle. Interesting area. Really nice and shaded and cool though. Nice area to camp if you don't want to stop at Warner Springs. It's only, I'd say, a couple miles out of town, maybe 2.5 miles. Maybe not even that. I should have looked at gut hooks. Just crossed under the bridge from Highway 79. It's the first crossing of Agua Caliente. And there are hot springs in the area, and man, does this water smell like sulfur. I'm not going to filter. I've got plenty of water. I just hope further up it's not as bad as this, because this is being nasty to drink. I mean, I'll do it if I have to. Oh my gosh, a water crossing. Ta-da. Oh. Whew. That stinks. Oh my. A lot of flood damage here. Pushed all that debris up against the highway. So I hear the creek down there, and I've reached my lunch spot. I heard it had a table, but there's no seats. That sucks. Darn it. Well, I'll just sit on the table. What's this? Oh, I remember this. I watch a lot of vlogs, and Second Chance came out here really early, and this was full of trash. And he threw a challenge out to the class of PCT 2019 to come in and pick up a couple pieces of trash. Everyone. And people did. And actually, somebody came and cleaned it all out because it's completely empty. Yeah, that's that empty trail magic I've heard about. Well, I'm going to eat. Maybe we'll go sit on a log. I don't know. It's lunchtime. It's time for a break. This is a nice little area for it before continuing on. All right. Time for some tuna and tortillas and something else besides that. I don't know if you can see this guy. Whoa, sorry. Oh, someone's coming to find me. So ever since the lunch spot, I've been going uphill. And this has been harder than even the first day. It's not as hot, but I think because I haven't been as active, I feel like this is brutal. And I think it's pretty much uphill until a couple of miles before Mike's place, which I won't hit until tomorrow. Hi. Let me pan around. So we're going up into the hills on the other side of the valley. This morning I came somewhere over here in that meadow, but over this to this side. Warner Springs is over there. Been climbing pretty steady and still climbing. It's endless. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Complete loss of trail legs. Complete loss. Hey, remember how, if you were watching any of my earlier videos, I saw these little things on the end of this cactus. They look like little raspberries. Well, now they're starting to bloom. Gorgeous pink flowers. Nice. Nice splash of color in the desert. My heart is going 100 miles an hour. Not because I'm just going uphill. There was a snake right there. And I scared it, and it scared me. And I went racing. It's one of those little, you see it right there? The little, he's black with the gold stripes. Now he's moving. Zip. He's like, I don't like you, human. I don't know if, yeah, he just went deeper. That scared it. Ooh, it scared me. I'm just concentrating on breathing and not trying to keel over and come across a snake. At least it wasn't a rattler. Oh, please don't jinx me. Those things are harmless. I don't know what they're called. I've seen them before. And yes, they've scared me before, but they're not poisonous. Oh, my heart. Today's rough. Rougher than I thought it would be. I just hope I can make it the entire time. There's really no bailout points that I know of. So I don't have much of a choice. But man, I have completely and utterly lost any kind of trail legs that I had. The uphills are killing me. I'm not sure where we're at because I haven't checked the gut hooks up in a while, but I hear a very, very strong rushing creek down to my left. And I knew we're going to cross that at some point. I just don't know how far up ahead. We're going to cross it a few times more. It's actually the last water source for a long time. Up a mile or two. Or coming up. I have no idea where I'm at, like I said. We've been going pretty level and downhill. A little bit up for a while, which is great, except that I know we're going to go uphill again, so I'd rather just stay level. Here's one crossing. It's not very deep, so I think I can step across and get to the shallower parts. I don't mind if I get my feet a little wet and then kind of crisscross over there rather than take my shoes off. I'm not going to attempt a rock crossing. I did that earlier. That was kind of interesting. But I may get my feet a little bit damp. Oh well, let's do this. Gotta put the phone away. I elected to go over barefoot. The only downside is I have to wait for my feet to be dry enough. I gotta get the sand off because they're the sand's gonna rub blisters if I don't. Which way? I like my black toenail. Oh man, my feet hurt. It was just this last mile they started to ramp up, so I took some Advil. Probably will take Tylenol too soon, and hope that helps with the ache. Otherwise, it's going to be a miserable hike. You know, the usual. I'm pretty sure it's just arthritis. Nice place for a break, though. I crossed Agua Caliente so many times today. I've had a lot of practice in stream crossings. Except for the one, I did it all just hopping over rocks and shallow portions of the creek. But yeah. So I have one more point where I'm close to the creek, but I filled up to capacity the last crossing, and now it's just go as far as I can and find a camp spot. There was a one coming up here that I was thinking about, but it's not. I'll probably hit there about 4 o'clock. It's a little bit too early to stop. The problem is a big climb starts right after that, but so normally I just stop and take that in the morning, but rain is forecast tomorrow, so I want to get as far as I can today, and then that means just less mileage I'll have to deal with the rain tomorrow going into Mike's place. But yeah, so we'll see how far we can go. You know, I've come across a few of these plants. They look like sage, but I'm not sure. And they're all turning this bright orange. And it makes me wonder, do you remember in those prior videos, let's see this a little bit more, where on the far side of the valley I saw orange on the hillsides. I assumed they were poppies. Now I'm wondering if it was just clusters of that, whatever that is. Whatever, regardless of what it is, man, the desert is colorful this year. I believe I passed that campsite I was talking about, because now we're going up. up. So we'll keep going until I find a decent campsite, or the time is getting late, then I'll just grab whatever I can find. I was hoping for a little bit of wind shelter, just to block sideways rain and stuff, but we'll see. We'll see how everything ends up. All right, so you can see that ridgeline, that low ridgeline right over there, and like a meadow beyond that. I came from over there this morning. Not sure of how many miles yet, honestly. And we kind of cut in and curved up this canyon and have been winding our way up. And I think I'm within a couple tenths of the next campsite, all uphill, of course. And I'll probably get there about 5. Really slowed down the last mile and a half. If there's any spots left, because it's gut hook says 1. People are commenting there's like more, there's like 2 or 3 spots. So if there's any spots and it's not a totally exposed campsite, I'm going to grab something there. Okay, it's a little bit before 5 and I found that campsite. There's this one. There's actually 2, possibly 3 in there. A little bit more private, but it's on a slant, a little bit of a slant. This one's the flattest, so even though it's literally right on the trail, I'm going to set up here. Probably diagonally, and still have my vestibule open out here. Actually, if I don't know. I'm thinking about changing things up, but yeah. Just thinking about when it starts to rain. I don't know if the manzanitas would help me out at all. But for now, the windbreak is great. So I'm going to set up and figure things out and show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. So the way I'm feeling right now, I think it was a mistake coming back out. I really wanted to complete this section of B. I'm about 8 miles in. It's where my campsite is right now. And I am trying to choke down some dinner. I have no appetite because I'm sick. I don't feel good. But I'm forcing myself to have some dinner. The only thing that even sounded remotely palatable was like just ramen, top ramen. So, and I did have a block. So I broke off like 75% of a block and I put it in there and threw a couple of pieces of beef jerky in there and some seasoning. And I'm having trouble even getting through that. So I don't know. And look, it looks very appealing. Sort of. I don't know what to do because I've got 10 miles to Mike's place. But the first half is all uphill. And generally in the morning I do better in the uphills, but the way I'm feeling right now, I don't know what's going to happen. I haven't barfed yet. I've been close a couple of times, but the other option is I can hike back down 8 miles to Warner Springs and go home, but it is so hard to get a ride at Warner Springs. So I don't know what to do. If I feel as bad as I do right now, tomorrow morning, I'm going to hike back. The only bad thing is it's going to rain, and I've got a whole bunch of creek crossings to do. So So that's going to be probably a little bit more challenging in the morning, but yeah, after raining, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think, again, depending on what happens by the morning, this is going to be it for the PCT this year. But does not just mean that I'm not going to be documenting a lot of hikes and a lot of other fun things that I do on the channel. The channel focus is just going to shift. It's not going to be a through hike of the PCT or even a section hike at this point. Well, I did do a section, but B is beating me. And hey, this is the pullover instead of the puffy. It's nice and warm. I like it right now. It actually feels good. Anyways, I'm going to crawl in here and lay down for a little bit. And it's not dark yet, but I need to lay down. And I'll tell you what happens tomorrow, obviously. If I hike back out, I'll film some of that. It'll be day whatever it would be. If I feel better and I hike on, of course I'm going to record that as well. All right, I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good night.